What if the most important financial decision of your life wasn't made by you? What if it was made years ago by a child? A version of you that didn't understand interest rates or retirement plans, but understood, with perfect clarity, the feeling of fear or joy or shame. We like to believe we are rational architects of our financial futures. We make budgets, we download apps, we read books about building wealth. We treat money like a math problem, a logical system to be solved. Yet, for so many of us, our bank accounts tell a different story, a story of impulse buys, of opportunities missed, of a strange, invisible force that seems to sabotage our best intentions. It's a story of contradictions. Why do we work so hard for a raise, only to see our lifestyle inflate and erase it instantly? Why do we know we should save, but find ourselves paralyzed, unable to act? In this video, we're going to deconstruct this invisible force. We're going to explore a powerful and perhaps unsettling idea that a single defining memory from your childhood has created an unconscious blueprint that is secretly dictating your entire financial life. This blueprint is not a conscious strategy. It's a set of deep-seated emotional rules about what money means, rules about safety, love, and survival. And until we understand that blueprint, we are destined to repeat its patterns, for better or for worse, for the rest of our lives. The most common myth about money is that it is a tool of logic. Success is a simple formula. Work hard, spend less than you earn, invest the difference. We are told that financial literacy is the key. If you just understand the numbers, you can control your destiny. And the evidence seems to be everywhere. We see financial gurus on social media with their pristine spreadsheets. We use budgeting apps that categorize every dollar. We calculate our future net worth with retirement planners. It all presents a clean, orderly world where input A leads to outcome B. It's a comforting thought. It implies control. It implies that with enough discipline and knowledge, anyone can build a fortress of financial security. But if it's all just a math problem, why are so many brilliant people so bad with money? Why do we see doctors drowning in debt or lawyers living paycheck to paycheck? If the formula is so simple, why does it feel so impossible to follow? This is the first crack in the myth. The truth is, for most of us, our financial decisions aren't made in a spreadsheet. They are made in the split second we stand in a store, holding an item we don't need but suddenly can't live without. They are made when we avoid looking at our bank balance because the feeling of anxiety is too much to bear. And this is where we have to introduce a new framework, the financial blueprint. Think of it as your mind's emotional operating system for money, installed in childhood and running silently in the background of every decision you make. Let's re-examine a common financial struggle through this new lens: chronic overspending. The logical view says, this is a failure of willpower. You lack discipline. But what if it's not a failure at all? What if it's a stunningly successful strategy to solve a completely different problem? Imagine a child who grew up feeling ignored. Their parents were busy, stressed, and the only time they truly felt seen, the only time the tension in the house dissolved into warmth, was when a gift was given. A new toy, a special treat. In that moment, the object wasn't just an object. It was proof of love. It was a symbol of safety and connection. Now, fast forward 30 years. That person gets a promotion. Logic says, invest the extra income. But their financial blueprint, their emotional operating system, has a different directive. It whispers, we feel unseen. We feel insecure. The solution is to get the thing. The thing makes us feel loved. So they buy the expensive watch, the new car. Consciously, they're celebrating. Unconsciously, they are a child desperate to feel seen. The spending isn't a financial problem, it's an emotional solution. Now, if all that is true, then we can ignore the most extreme example. The person who comes into a life-changing amount of money, an inheritance, a lottery win, a company sale, and within a few years it's all gone. From the outside, it's a tragedy of incompetence. We shake our heads and say, How could they be so foolish? But we're asking the wrong question. This isn't just about financial illiteracy. It's a form of unconscious self-destruction. The money was a threat. It violated the core rules of their blueprint. This event didn't just ruin their finances, it shattered their identity, confirmed their deepest fears about themselves, and often destroyed the very relationships the money was supposed to help. It's the ultimate paradox. They were given the key to freedom, and they used it to lock themselves back in their old cage. If a person is capable of this, if they can hold a winning ticket and choose to lose, then what were they really seeking? To answer that, we have to go to the source of their pain. Let's go back to a memory. A little boy, hiding in his room, listening to his parents fight. The screaming is always about one thing: bills. In his mind, money isn't paper. It's a monster that makes the people he loves turn into angry strangers. It's the source of chaos, fear, and instability. As an adult, he inherits a large sum when they pass away. Logically, this money is his security. But his blueprint screams, "Danger! This is the monster that destroyed our home. Get rid of it." So he spends it recklessly. He makes terrible investments. He gives it away. He is not trying to be poor. He is trying to be safe. He is trying to get the monster out of his house. This behavior runs directly counter to the cultural narrative of the American dream, which tells us that wealth is the ultimate escape from a painful past. But what if, for many, wealth is so terrifyingly unfamiliar that we unconsciously recreate the scarcity of our past just to feel at home again? To understand how to finally escape this cycle, we first have to examine the one story that seems to defy it. But I know what you're thinking. What about the opposite story? The person who grows up with nothing, haunted by a memory of poverty, and uses that pain as fuel to become a relentless, workaholic millionaire. That person seems to refute everything we've said. Their success looks like a conscious rejection of their past, a triumph of will. But let's apply our blueprint analysis one last time. The memory that drives them isn't one of chaos, but of powerlessness, of the shame of not having enough. So they build an empire, not for the joy of creation, but as a fortress against that memory of shame. They accumulate wealth not to spend, but to hoard, because every dollar is another brick in the wall separating them from that terrified child. They are never at peace. They can't enjoy their success, because the moment they stop working, the moment they stop acquiring, they hear the ghost of that memory whispering that they are, and always will be, worthless. Their supposed redemption is actually the most sophisticated prison of all. Even their greatest virtue was at the service of their greatest defect. So we see the pattern. The overspender isn't buying things, they're buying love. The inheritor isn't losing money, they're casting out a monster. And the workaholic isn't building a business, they're building a wall against the feeling of shame. Each is perfectly executing a strategy designed by a child to survive an emotional threat. The strategy worked back then, but it has become a cage in their adult life. The breaking point comes when the cost of maintaining the blueprint becomes unbearable. It's the health scare that forces the workaholic to stop. It's the threat of bankruptcy that forces the spender to face their emptiness. It's the moment the pain of the present finally outweighs the fear inherited from the past. Now that we understand the machine that moves them, what does their end really mean? The answer changes everything.